WWE World Champion. Let's hear it for the one and only Big Show.
Big butcher here. Good. How was it? I know. The music. Oh, I was late. I feel like over something.
The lights are on here. You got the King's chair right there. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much for having me. Hey, guys, thank you very much for showing up. My kid to pay attention to me like this would be awesome.
Before we get to the Q&A line, I just want to say thank you on behalf of Wizard World for coming out for the Hometown Heroes event yesterday. That was
amazing.
Outstanding.
I've been going overseas and visiting the troops in Iraq and Afghanistan. So any chance I can to pay respect to our armed forces, our men and women in the service. If you take the time, it means a lot to them to say thank you, because a lot of the things that we have today in this country is because of those guys putting their asses on the line. And they're great young men and women have made a great big commitment to help people all around the world. I mean, it's not about just fighting terrorism or stuff like that. They're there on getting aid to people in hurricanes and tidal waves and emergencies and earthquakes. Those guys are right there helping them out. So if you get a chance.
Short amount of time, please.
All right, so WWE is trying to reinvent the U.S. title and Intercontinental make it matter again. Right. But isn't it undermining the whole thing by having Roman Reigns compete for the world title before he's won the Intercontinental title and the U.S. title? I want to know your thoughts about it, because you're very honest about everything, and I love your point of view on the tag team division.
Well, okay, I'm honest. The old standard was back in the day, all I can go for is back in the day the way I understand it. I don't know what they're trying to do now. My name's Paul, that's between y'all. But the old standard is the U.S. Championship was kind of your guy that you were building to get ready to be the world champion. In essence, that's what should be going on now. Whoever's your U.S. champion, whoever's your Intercontinental champion, those guys, because they're doing the brand split pretty soon, you know, and they're gonna be separate brands, just like they were back in the day, which I think is better for the talent and is better for all of you, because you're not going to have the same story carry over into SmackDown that was on Monday. You want to see Monday's story, you watch Monday. SmackDown story is going to be completely different when it airs live. It's a better opportunity for the talent, and there's a lot of new talent that are coming up. Tag team divisions, there's some great tag teams. You know, it's funny, you guys like New Day, right? This is a true story. If you ask Xavier or Kofi or Big E, they'll testify to this, like Devon testify. When they first got together, I pulled Kofi like 5 feet to the side. 5 feet. And told Kofi, dude, what are you doing? You're going to be running for the Intercontinental title. You got a chance to be champion. You're screwed off with these two dipshits. I said, this clapping, whatever they're doing, Kofi, you're going to kill your career doing this, man. You need to get out. I mean, I love you. You're an amazing talent. I don't even know these two dudes. Like, and Big E and poor Xavier looking at me like, really? I'm like, dude, I don't know you. I'm worried about Kofi. That's the way I've always been anyway. I tend to, when I work with guys and spend time with them on the road, then I fold them into my family, and then, you know, I'm honest with them and tell them what's going on. And about 2 weeks later, I had to go up to Xavier and Kofi and Big E and say, okay, what I said 2 weeks ago, completely disregard. I've seen what you guys are doing, and it's magic. Don't change a thing. You guys be you. You guys were right. I was wrong. So, and that's a true thing. Sometimes guys initiate on things, you look at it and go, what the hell are they doing? And after a while, it kicks in and kicks off, and it's been good for New Day, which is good for tag team divisions. There's a lot of new tag teams coming up now. My biggest problem that I have with the tag team division, and this is just a personal thing, but I'm a fan of the old tag teams, Marty Jannetty, Shawn Michaels. My personal favorite tag team of all time was New Age Outlaws, Billy Gunn and Road Dogg. But the thing is with tag teams, the psychology, I think, is a little off sometimes. Because we're so, and the referee is so important now and has so much validity and can't do anything behind the ref's back because it puts heat on the referee. Yes, I understand that it is good to err that way, because if the referee loses control, then what's the sense of having respect in anything? I get it, I understand it. But what I miss is the babyface on the apron getting the hot tag and making the comeback on both heels. You just miss it. I mean, nowadays, you gotta bump the heel off the apron, or he's gonna stand there and watch his partner get beat. It's not as exciting. I mean, and we got some great athletic teams that I would love to see the reins loosen up a little bit in the tag team division. So when a babyface that you're rooting for finally gets the hot tag, he blows a comeback and kicks the crap out of both heels, whether it's clothesline, backdrop, hip toss, whatever it is, it makes it exciting and it tells a story without a dip in the finish. I think a lot of times we do now is every match has a dip in the finish. Dip in the finish works when you're somebody over like Triple H, Undertaker, John Cena, Shawn Michaels. When they put dips in finishes, it's because you guys as fans have used to them seeing making a comeback a certain way. When that comeback is stopped, you go, oh, because you didn't see what you expected. When they get it back, because they were able to resurge and get the comeback back, you guys are happy because you saw what you want. When you're a new team and you put a dip in a finish, it just looks like you can't get the job done. Guys have to take their time and build that emotional relationship with you all, so you guys know that they're going to kick out, you know that they're going to make a comeback and go home. You develop that symbiotic relationship with you, the fan, and them as the newer talent. When that happens, then you can start screwing around and putting dips and doing stuff like that. I think it's important for the newer teams, if they're a babyface tag team, make a comeback and go home and put a dip. That's my theory. Long-winded, sorry. All the help.
How you doing? I just wanted to ask, how did you like working with Floyd Mayweather?
Floyd Mayweather, awesome, incredible. I mean, I can tell you right now, Floyd was completely nothing like the character you see on TV. He's a very humble, very hard-working kid. He's very smart. He understands the art of promotion, understands the part of making people emotionally involved in something that's going on in his fights, you know. He understands the promotion business. And, you know, he's a really smart businessman. You know, he showed up for everything he had to do with us. The media tour, he had a positive can-do attitude with that. I have nothing but good things to say about him. It was a good job. Plus, he's fast, too. Yes, ma'am.
Since Money in the Bank is tomorrow, who are you rooting for, John Cena or AJ Styles?
Wow, that's a good question. Okay, here's the thing. As a talent, how do I justify that? Now, you as a fan, you guys like AJ Styles. He's new, he's a veteran, he's fought hard in the indie circuit. It's kind of like the story of the underdog, right? So you want to root for that guy. You look at John Cena, 10 years, on top, you know, might have the feeling that everything's been handed to him. I'll give you a little inside trick. Nothing's been handed to John Cena. John Cena has stayed where he is because he has outworked and out-earned everybody around him. Now, if I'm working on the card, I want John Cena's ass in the main event because I know I'm going to make more money. That's just, whether you like the you can't see me stuff, whether you like his salute when he runs down the ramp, the guy is solid and he produces and he does what he's supposed to do as a champion. Everybody that he works with, he ends up getting over and he makes everybody on the card money. So I get it. There's a changing of the guard. You want somebody new. So in the spirit of the underdog, sure, you wish for AJ Styles to do well. And I would like to see AJ, who is an incredible gentleman backstage, incredible technical worker, a guy that really understands his character and his relationship. I would love to see him to get that opportunity. I think that opportunity would do him a lot more than it would do John. But at the same time, for AJ Styles to get that opportunity over John, he's going to have to earn it. That's just the way it is. You don't get wins over a guy that's done as much for our industry, as much as the guys in the locker room, as much for WWE as John Cena has. You don't get a win over John Cena easily. So if AJ does get a win over John Cena, it's an incredible opportunity for AJ. If he doesn't mean that AJ's dead. It means AJ will still get more opportunities. He just isn't quite where they feel confident enough in him yet. But I think AJ will be fine. He's a good dude. He's got good grit. He's dug from underneath. He's a true underdog. So you got to root for the underdog. Yo.
Hey, clap. My question is, did you ever feel your feud with Boss Man went way too far?
I think the part where I dove on the casket was kind of that. You know, it's funny, that was my first really big angle, and that idea actually came about with Terry Taylor. If you know Terry Taylor, the Red Rooster, was a producer in WWE, and I was just new in the WWE. And Terry came to me and says, look, we need to come up with a way that we can make the fans understand and relate to you and humanize you more. You know, he says, is there anything that you would emotionally react to? And at the time, I was like, I don't know, I've been the giant, got you to do, monster truck. So, I mean, it was hard for me as a young athlete and a young character trying to figure what can I do that would open up a different side of my character to you, the audience. So it came to the idea about my dad. My dad had died in '92, and it was a really hard thing for me. I ended up quitting school and doing a bunch of other things, and quit playing basketball, and was a lost young man for about a year. So I remember how that impacted my life. So I thought, well, yeah, I should be able to draw some emotion from this. So we suggested the idea of Boss Man, who was always, Ray was one of the most amazing individuals you've ever met in the ring and out of the ring. I remember one time I was supposed to take a bump in WCW, I think. Maybe it was up here. Yeah, I think it was up here. He came off the apron, I was supposed to take a bump. Believe it or not, I wasn't used to falling down back then. I didn't fall down a lot. So he comes off the apron with a cross body, and I caught him. But I was supposed to fall to my back. But I caught him. And he goes, now what? And I remember I pressed him over my head and threw him over the top rope back in the ring. He goes, golly! He was an amazing guy, and the angle got him a lot of really incredibly intense heat because people got very upset about that. The promos where he called my fake mom a dirty name, and I was a bastard. And, it was really great for that time because we were still able to do a lot of really crazy things with our characters and pull it off. And did it go a little bit far? Yeah, I think the whole showing up and driving off with a casket was a bit much. But I think we had to do that to show some levity in the angle so that people could realize we were just still having fun. Yes, sir.
So with the brand split coming, who besides yourself do you want to see have an opportunity?
Oh, I'm not worried about myself having an opportunity. I will make whatever opportunity I'm given and whatever role I'm put in. I think right now I'm just doing live events and working on the weekends, and I'm fine with that. You know, Kane and I tag. I'm helping Big Braun Strowman, and he's getting better. Eric Rowan is really getting a lot better in the ring. I hope he gets. I would like to see Eric Rowan get an opportunity in the singles. I don't think. When I look at our product from the big guy standard, there's Corbin, I think, is an amazing big guy. I don't think you guys realize how good that kid is yet. He's still got ways to go as far as building his character and stuff like that and developing a relationship with you all as fans. But the technical things, the way he works in the ring, you can tell he just moves really nice in the ring. He's really solid at what he does. Eric Rowan has gotten a lot better. I know the big crazy beard and the overalls look like a big seagull crapped on his back. It's a little crazy and out there, but his in-ring work has gotten really, really, really nice. So I think he's going to get a lot of opportunities. Braum's coming along. I mean, you know, Braum's going to be probably your next giant figure down the road for a while. That big menacing force that a lot of baby faces are going to bounce off to and try to overcome. I think he'll step up to the plate pretty good. Big Cass and Enzo, I got a lot of high hopes. They're so amazing and entertaining. You know, Enzo is amazing to work with in the ring. He's like, you know, he's like a supercharged wasp with an Uzi running around. The guy's got so much energy. Big Cass is spitting out a lot of stuff that he wants to do, and those guys are going to be great. I don't want to see those guys split up anytime soon at all. I'd like to see those guys have a nice run as a tag team and grow and become tag team champions someday. there's gonna be a lot of opportunity for a lot of guys with that brand split, just mainly in storyline development. Because you're not gonna have the same writers for Raw and the same writers for SmackDown, and you get a diluted angle that Raw did 3 weeks ago, that now you're acting like it's brand new on SmackDown. So, and I'm not knocking the writers, because God knows they do the best they can with their job, and they're trying to, you know, facilitate a lot of bosses and make sure they're happy. But I think with a brand split, and you got different dedicated writing teams, you're going to see a change in the product, and plus you're going to see, you know, a little intercompany competition. Because I was around back in the days of the old brand split, and believe me, when it was me and Cena and Brock on SmackDown, we loved kicking the crap out of Triple H and Randy Orton on Raw. Ratings and money and everything else. So, I think you'll see a lot of that brand competition will start to step up, and I think it'll give you a chance to see a lot more of your favorites and hopefully find some new favorites. Yes, sir.
First, I'd just like to say it's an honor for you to be my first WWE wrestler in person. I get to meet for the first time.
Okay, we're not dating.
I wasn't old enough to watch the Attitude Era because I was a kid, so.
Okay.
So yeah.
Thanks, I feel old.
Yeah.
You're doing great, so far.
But I'm backlogging and I just watched WrestleMania X7, which is I think is one of the best WrestleManias your company has ever done. I especially liked your hardcore championship title match with Kane and Raven. And I was wondering.
Is that the one where Kane almost ran over Raven with a golf cart?
Yeah. and Raven.
Like it was almost a homicide that day.
And in one of the matches, you got on the golf cart, and Raven tried to drive away, but you were on the golf cart, and you guys almost like took out a power line that almost took out the entire like stadium's power outlet. So it was like, ooh. But
I remember, I think I got fined somewhere in there later for doing something.
But when you're doing a match like that for the hardcore title, where it's goes anywhere, goes in the back, you know, you don't have the ring as like a familiar environment.
Right.
How do you guys like spot for that, where it could get a little chaotic?
You can try to get a general path of, we need to start here, need to end up here, and back then, it was a lot different. One of the hardcore matches I had with Mick Foley, who was just insane. Like, I would do stuff with Mick Foley that I would just really like, oh, wow, I'm a really bad person. You know what I mean? Like, it would keep me up in that. I think one time Mick had me in a sleeper hold, and I grabbed his legs and took a bump with him on my back. And that was Mick's idea, and Mick is tougher than a bag of hammers, and I heard both his ribs break when they broke. He goes, ugh! And I'm like, see Mick, I told you I was too young. You know, I was yelling at him for making me do it. One time, I think one of the stadium folding platforms fell on him. You know, and I'm looking at him, and oh, he's doing a good job selling. Wait, he's blue. It was like 400 pounds, and I had to pick it up off of him, and he's like, oh, if you hadn't picked that up, that would have crushed me. I'm like, yeah, I know, you turned blue. I got it. That hardcore era was a great way to break out of the norm, but honestly, as exciting as it is for you guys, it sucks for us. I mean, the amount of injury, because when you're in the ring, you're in a controlled environment. You know, you take bumps on that, you land on that. The footing is good. Our boots are made to grab the canvas. You start screwing around the back, and then spilled sodas and slick concrete, and, you know, believe me, I'm like Bambi on ice. We all know I'm not that graceful anymore. That stuff always gets a little nerve-wracking and different. With this brand split, I know there won't be any more chair shots to the head because, you know, we've all seen the movies and we all know about concussions. I wish they had told me that when I started. I remember I put my hand up and they yelled at me, "You're gonna break your damn finger putting your hand up." I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I'll break my head, that's better. The business changes, evolves, but hopefully it'll still evolve to something that you guys can find passion in. Yes, sir.
Speaking of all the talent you've ever worked with, I was looking back through the tapes, and the rivalry that I think was underrated was with you and Eddie Guerrero. What was it like working with such a talent?
Eddie was like no other wrestler I've ever met in this world. I don't know how to describe it to you. He was the kindest, most gracious, God-fearing man you've ever met. And then Latino heat would get mad, and you're dealing with a friggin' demon. 180-degree change. I remember one time I was on a plane and Eddie got on the plane and I was sitting out front. I said, "Good morning, Eddie." He drops his bag and goes, "What does that mean, S.A.?" And I was like, "Good morning." I don't know. Eddie was great at working with the ring because Eddie always went out of his way to make me the giant. He would get very adamant and very irritated about me selling too much for him or bumping too much for him. He'd get very, very angry. And I've been on many an end of an Eddie Guerrero ass chewing for taking too many bumps for him or for anybody else. He says, "You're gigante, man. You don't fall down for nobody." And then he'd come over and give me a hug. "I love you." That's Eddie. I don't know. Eddie had fire and passion and had a way of doing things, and he didn't let anybody alter his course. If Eddie saw a thing that he wanted to do his way, he did it. And you either went along with the program or got run over. Yes, sir.
I know you guys have done it multiple times with ring breaks with like you and Kane or you and Goldberg and others, but the first time that happened with you and Mark Henry, was that intended to happen when all the ring breaks
Actually,
came
the
in?
first ring break was Brock and I.
Oh,
That was
sorry.
That's all right. Okay. Brother,
Anyways.
brother, I forget a lot of stuff too. It's funny that. Now what do you do? Do you break kayfabe or no? What do you do? Break it. Yeah, break. I've already said it on. I think I said it on Jericho's podcast anyway. Everyone's always asked me about that ring break. They put that out there due to a real thing that happened. I broke a strut in the ring and broke the ring for real, which gave them the idea of doing the stunt that we did. So at the time that we did that stunt, none of us had any idea that it was going to be done that well, that it was going to work. It's one of those little magic moments in TV that was able to create. Mark Henry and I was also, I think, pretty close to being the real deal. As much as we weighed, we probably, if they hadn't helped it along, it probably would have broke on its own anyway. It was 1,000 pounds coming off the top. I was worried the top turnbuckle was going to snap anyway. You have a lot of, gee, you let people know that some of it's at work, or, you guys are all smart, you guys are all online, you guys know the deal. There's still a lot of old school in me, I don't want to stooge everything off, but I was sad that they tried to recreate it with Mark and I, to be honest with you. I thought the magic that Brock and I had done was magic, and leave that alone and let that lie. And then when we recreated it with Mark, it was like, and I love Mark to death. Mark's my brother from another mother, but he is. That boy can cook. I'm not kidding. If Mark Henry opens a barbecue joint, y'all need to go, because that man, he's brought me food from home before, and I've cried. It's been so good. I think that was the only thing that bothered me, is because it was done so right with Brock. And it was let that lie. But, we recreated it with Mark, and it still got, some of you even forgot about the Brock thing, so maybe Vince was smarter than I was. Some people had forgotten that I did it with Brock, so, go ahead, sir.
We actually, we're pretty much out of time, but let's try to get
I'll
to these
shut up my
last
answers,
three.
I'll make them quick.
All right, here we go.
It's an honor to meet you. I just want to ask, what made you want to go into wrestling, or more specifically the WWE?
Well, I started out in WCW. I tried to get a job with WWE. I went to a show in Chicago, and I went to an autograph signing with Razor Ramon, Bam Bam Bigelow, Jeff Jarrett, Luna Vachon. Some great, Bret Hart was there, a lot of great stars, and they gave me the broom because I was there in a trench coat and had long black curly hair, and all the kids were asking me who I was, and I was like, nobody, I just want to be a wrestler. But I was screwing up the autograph signing, so they gave me the boot. I gave a tape to Mike Chioda of me running the ropes. Mike Chioda gave the tape to Pat Patterson. Pat Patterson confused me with the Kurgan. True story. I finally got my break through Danny Bonaducci, introduced me to Hogan. Hogan introduced me to Bischoff. I got trained, beat Hogan for the world title. Vince and Pat Patterson are watching that match. Chioda walks in and says, "Oh, Pat, what happened with that guy?" Pat goes, "What guy?" "That's the guy I gave you the tape on." Vince goes, "You had a tape on him?" Pat says, "I didn't know who he was." Long story short. Yes, sir.
My question is, Money in the Bank is Sunday.
Yes, sir.
So, do you want to see Chris Jericho win because he's the older guy, or would you like to see one of the younger talents win it?
Well, you know, you guys put a lot of faith in winning and losing. I think that's never been a big deal for me. Obviously, in my career, I've never been the guy, no, I got to win. I don't care, bro. That's all entertainment, and I get paid regardless. So. You don't get any more for going to the paid window, unlike what Dusty says. I think, you know, it depends on who gets the opportunity and what they do with it. Does Chris need the opportunity to win? I don't know. Will Chris make the most of that opportunity to win? Absolutely. If Chris wins something like that, he's going to rub it in everybody's face for the next 10 years. That's the opportunity that if a younger guy gets, a younger guy needs to take the same steps and make the most of the opportunity. Yes, sir.
All right, you already answered the question about the hardcore title, but what retired titles, mostly like with the Cruiserweight tournament coming up, would you like to see make a resurgence?
Oh, wow. You know, what titles I'd like to see make a resurgence? I wouldn't mind seeing that Cruiserweight title come back, but maybe not as a Cruiserweight, maybe as like a light heavyweight title. Because I think you got a lot of great young talent that's not really super heavyweight, but a really good light heavyweights that maybe would be a good run. But at the same time, is that a knock on the guys who compete? And let's face it, Shawn Michaels wasn't a light heavyweight, and he had the big title and ran well with him. So I don't know. Would you like to see, Neville as a future WWE champion, or Apollo Crews? Those aren't really big guys, but they are kind of light heavyweight guys. I don't know. I think you get too many titles, you muddle stuff up. You know what I mean? Oh, this title and that title, and this is the Friday after Tuesday title. I'm the Interstate 7-Eleven Tri-County booking champion. It's too much, I think, they'll find ways to highlight guys. Let's make what titles we do have mean more. Let's not flip-flop them every day. Let's make it a bigger deal and a better production. Those that have the titles, treat the titles with respect. Don't throw the title around, don't carry it on your shoulder. I carried it on my shoulder because I couldn't wear it, it's too small. But, wear the title like you own it, like you mean it, like it is the most important thing to you. Send that message to the fans, make the fans understand the title is important. You guys care about it, you care about them, the title will do it.
That's awesome. Somebody make that 7-Eleven championship sign. Put it on the wall this week.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay. 7-Eleven champion.
Sacramento